Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you and your family members are doing good because that is the most important thing, and for rest we are here to talk. So we were following our pattern wise Rising Brain DSA sheet, and in this we were doing array topic. Inside it we were learning about prefix sum pattern and we were doing the questions in that. So now today we'll do the last question of the prefix sum, that is find pivot index. So let's read the problem statement. It says we will be given an array of integers and we have to calculate the pivot index of this array. Now let's see the definition of pivot index. It says it is an index where the sum of all elements is strictly to the left of the index is equal to the sum of all elements or numbers strictly towards the right index. Okay, so it says if I am standing at particular position, I have to return that index where sum of every elements excluding that, like sum of every left elements should be equal to sum of every right elements, and in this left and right this should not come. Okay, and it also says if the index is on the left edge of the array, means if it is a 0 index, then the left sum is 0 because there are no elements of the left. Okay, so it is saying if you are standing at 0 position, you can consider its left sum as 0 because we have no such elements towards the left side. So let's see the constraint. It says num's length can go up to 10 power 4. So here the brute force approach might work. Brute force means n square time complexity, but it will be very slow. So hence first let's see the brute force approach, then we will see the optimized approach. Okay, so the problem says suppose if I am standing at 3, so I have to say if my left sum, which is 7 plus 1, 8, is equal to right sum, which is 6 plus 6 plus 5. In this case it is not equal, so means second index, like 0 base indexing, so it is a second index, right? So this second index will not be my pivot index. Now let's consider for this third index. If you will see here, the summation of all left values is equal to 11 and it is equal to the summation of all right values, and hence according to the definition this is our pivot index. So hence we have returned the index of that. So what will be our brute force approach for this? We know if I am standing at a particular index, then I need a left summation, and that left summation will run from 0 to that I minus 1. Yes, and then we need a right summation, and that right summation needs to run from I plus 1 till last index. Yes, so we can write in the two for loops also. Why? Because one for loop will be taking care of the index for which we are calculating the right sum and left sum, and then we need two different for loops. One for loop which will calculate the left summation, which will run from 0 index to I minus 1 definitely, and another for loop which will calculate the right summation and which will run from I plus 1 till n. Okay, so this idea we can code it also. Let's see. So what I want to run a for loop for I index, correct? So I will run for int I is equal to 0 to I less than num's length, correct? Num's length, let's call it n, and I plus plus. So now I want this I to run for every index, means this also, this also, this also till here, correct? Now for every I want to calculate the left sum and right sum, correct, for every I. Okay, so I have to run the two for loops inside it, one for left sum, another for right sum. Okay, so let's run a one for loop int j is equal to, from where I want to run. I want to run from 0 till where? J less than I. Yes, because I want it to run till I minus 1, so hence less than I, and then j plus plus. Yes, now what I want to do with this j index? I want to calculate the summation in the left sum, so I have to create a left sum variable also. Yes, so I will create int left sum variable initialize with 0, correct? Yes, and now in the left sum, I will keep on adding my nums of I index value. Yes, so after coming out of this for loop, I can say ki I have my left sum, correct, for initial I index. So initially if I is 0, how many times this j will run? J won't run, so hence my left sum will be 0. And as the question says, if you are at 0 index, you can consider the left sum as 0. This satisfies. Now for a particular index, my left sum is done. Now I have to calculate the right sum. How can I calculate the right sum? Definitely I want to run another for loop from I plus 1 till n minus 1 or n, correct? So I can say we will write for int k. Okay, I want to start my k from I plus 1 definitely. Yes, and k less than n means I want to take the n minus 1th index value and then k plus plus. Correct? Yes. Now what we want to do in this for loop? Definitely we want to add every value. If I is here now, so we want to add every such values in our right summation. So hence we need a right sum variable also. Yes. So where we will initialize? Let's say here. So int write sum is equal to 0, and inside this what we will do? We will simply do write sum plus equal to nums of k. Yes. Now after coming out of these two for loops, I can say कि I have my left sum and I have my right sum excluding that I index, correct? So now what I have to check? I have to check if my left sum equal to right sum. Yes, very simple. So what we will check? If my left sum is equal to right sum. If that is the case, we will simply return what? The question is asking for the index to return, correct? So we will simply return I, and we will come out of this for loop, and that's it. Now you can run this code, and if you want to talk about time complexity, so as you can see, for every I index, correct, we are going at every I now, and then from every I we are calculating the left sum and right sum. So we can say ki even though we are running this for loop, the first for loop will run for this half and second for loop will run for this half, so total n minus 1 only, but that is in nested order. So hence for every I can say ki I am running inside the whole for loops. Yes. So the total time complexity will be O of n square. And what was the constraint for n? It was 10 power 4. So n square will become 10 power 8. Till this it can run, but it will be very slow. So hence we need to optimize this. But before returning, you can see here that we have to return the leftmost pivot index, and if no such index exists, then we have to return -1. So we can say that after coming out of this for loop, if we have not returned any such I index, then after this we can simply return -1 here, saying we have not found any such index. This is the code we have discussed. We will run the first for loop for I from 0 index to n index, means n minus 1, and then we will calculate the left summation from 0 to I minus 1, and then right summation from I plus 1 to n minus 1. Now after this, if our left sum equal to right sum, we will return I, otherwise we will return -1, saying we have not found any such index. So now this has run. Now we can submit this code, and you can see it is very slow, correct? So we need to optimize this. Yes. But before optimization, let's see one more thing. Constraint here. It says nums can be negative number also. Why I said this, let's discuss. Whenever we talk about optimization, we always talk about 4 different patterns which we have learned in array. Yes. And what were those? Those were 2 pointers, sliding window, prefix sum, and cadence algorithm. And when to apply what, we have already discussed in our very first lecture of the video. If you haven't checked it out, I will definitely recommend you to go and check that out first. So 2 pointer we apply when the array is in sorted order, and we can decide ki when to move which pointer. And also when we have to take care only about these numbers and nothing in between. Yes. Sliding window we use when every numbers are positive and we want the subarray or substring, means continuous array we want. Every number should be positive, remember that. Prefix sum we use when we have to do the summation only, but in multiple queries, and it can have negative numbers also. Cadence algo we use when we have to give the maximum summation and the numbers can be negative also. So here in this case you saw that numbers can be negative. So hence, because it is not sorted, means we don't want 2 pointer. Because we have negative numbers, so we cannot apply sliding window. Prefix sum we can apply here or not, let's see. But cadence we cannot apply. Why? Because cadence help us to give us the maximum summation. Yes. Okay, so means we are only left with prefix sum. So I am saying we will apply the prefix sum idea in this. How we will apply? So let's code for this. We want to calculate the left sum, correct? So for left sum, we want to initialize our left sum variable, int left sum is equal to 0. Now if I am standing here, can I calculate this in left sum? No, I cannot, correct? So I want to run a for loop for int I is equal to 0 until I less than nums.length, let's say n only, and then I plus plus. Okay, now what I want, if I am standing at I this index, my left sum is 0 only, correct? Now I want to calculate my right sum. How can I calculate my right sum? See, if you are standing at here, your left sum will be this, and you want this now. So can I say total summation minus this left sum and minus this current index, I can get the right sum? Yes or no? Yes, I can. So what we will do, first we will calculate the right sum. So int right sum is equal to total sum. What is total sum? So before writing this somewhere here we will calculate the total sum, and total sum will be nothing but summation of whole nums array. Okay, so in this case it's 28. Okay, now from total sum we want to subtract the left sum. So if we will subtract the left sum and if we will subtract the current index value, I can say I have got the right sum. Yes. Now what is my task? I have to check if my left sum, after this, if my left sum equal to right sum, what we will do? We will return our I as a index ki yes, this is our answer. Otherwise we will keep on moving ahead and we will keep on adding our what? Left sum mein we have to add nums of I. Why nums of I? Because next time our I will become from 0 to 1, correct? And in left sum we will have till here. Current I here. So next time we can calculate the right sum by the same formula. And after coming out of this, if we have not found, we can simply return -1 ki yes, we have not found. So if you use the time complexity here, we are only using one for loop for one I is equal to 0 to this, and inside it whatever we are doing this. So here we are calculating the right sum and we are just checking the equality. It takes only O of 1 time complexity. So in total O of n only, and that is far better solution than the previous solution which was brute force approach. So now let's code for this. First we have to calculate the total summation. So for that we can say total sum is equal to 0. Correct? Yes. Now let's run the for loop for this. Ki int num, let's run the for each loop. We are getting the element of array 1 by 1 and we will add this in total summation. So total sum plus is equal to num. Okay, after coming out of this for loop we can say ki we have the total sum. Now we want the left sum. So first we will make the left sum variable with 0, and now we want to run the for loop from I is equal to 0 to I less than what? Nums dot length? Yes, nums dot length and I plus plus. Now inside this, when I am standing at I is equal to 0, my left sum will be 0 only. Now my task is to calculate the right sum. Yes, so int right sum will be what? I can say total sum minus left sum minus nums of I, because nums of I is not included in my left sum. Yes. After this we have to check ki if our left sum somehow is equal to our right sum. Sorry. If this is the case, we will simply return yes, we have found it. Okay. Otherwise, after coming out of this, we can say ki we have not found, return -1. Now after this, suppose I have not found it. So obviously I will be incremented now. So left sum also needs to be updated. So we have to say left sum plus is equal to what? Nums of I. So the next time I will become something else. So left sum will have included all the numbers from 0 to I minus 1. So we have run this. Now let's submit this. And you can say it is the fastest solution. So this was a solution in Java, and if you are from Python background, here is the same approach, same method, but the code is in Python if you are from Python background, and here is the code of C++ if you are from C++ background. So we have submitted this. I hope you guys understood, and with this we can go here and mark the next question, which is last question of the prefix sum also done. So that's it. I hope you guys understood, and if there were any doubt, do let me know in the comment section, and I hope you guys are doing along with me. If yes, do let me know in the comment section by just commenting understood or submitted on your own. Please don't just copy paste this code into yours. If you understood, close your copy and again write in the code editor from the scratch, and if you are able to do it, then you are learning it in a right way. And that's it guys. I hope these videos are helping you. If it is, don't forget to like, subscribe, and do share it with your friends also. And if you guys are new to this channel, we are following the Rising Brain pattern wise DSA sheet. If you want, the link will be there in the description, or else if you want to connect with me on my social medias like LinkedIn, Instagram, then all the links you can find from the description. And that's it. Let's meet in another video with some more interesting topics and questions. So then keep learning, take care of yourself and your family too.